Welcome to Beyond the Clinic, the podcast for health professionals ready to transform their expertise into innovative income streams that extend beyond the traditional clinic model. I'm Sarah Armand-Bushell. I'm a registered dietitian and certified business coach and proud owner of 2 successful online businesses. I understand the leap from the security of a regular salary can feel intimidating because I've been there too. But it doesn't have to be scary, and you do not have to do this alone. Here you'll learn tangible strategies to accelerate your business growth. So if you're dreaming of using your expertise to create impact and a life of freedom, then you're in the right place. Question for you. Do you use AI tools like ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini for your marketing? I talk to healthcare professionals a lot about this, and I find the responses really interesting. So some people are really resistant to using these tools, and so they just don't bother with them. Others are curious, but a bit cautious. They know AI could save them time in their business, but they're afraid it doesn't truly understand their industry or their professional guidelines or our standards. Or maybe they're frustrated with the output because they're often way too generic or sound awfully robotic, or they have to spend ages editing the responses afterwards. Does any of that sound familiar to you? I'd love to hear your personal experiences with AI. And the thing is, this cautiousness around using AI tools isn't really very surprising because, after all, we have been trained for years to be super careful with the words that we use, and we've spent years building our knowledge, our expertise, our professional credibility. And so, of course, the idea of using AI can feel really quite unsettling. The idea of handing any part of those things over to a tool, well, it could feel like it clashes with everything that we stand for as healthcare professionals. But today I want to invite you to look at this from a slightly different angle. I want to show you how protecting your integrity and standards as a health professional doesn't mean avoiding AI, but also make you aware of 3 actually quite huge hidden costs of not using these tools in your marketing. So in today's episode, we're going to talk honestly about AI in the context of healthcare. We're going to explore the hidden costs of not leveraging AI in your business and how you can use tools safely, ethically, and actually strategically so that they save you time, they help you stay consistent with showing up, which is what it's all about in marketing, and of course, reach more of the people who need our expertise without ever compromising your professional integrity. So whether you're already using AI for your marketing and seeing pretty disappointing responses, or you just don't touch it because it makes you feel uneasy, I hope that this episode will be super useful for you. And make sure you stay tuned right until the end of this episode, because I'm going to share with you the details of a hands-on workshop that I'm running in March, where I'm going to show you how to use and train AI properly on your specific personal business. And in this workshop, I'm going to teach you how to literally build your own AI marketing assistant trained on your uniqueness, your business, your niche, your voice. And this will be so much better than the generic ChatGPT that you're probably used to. Okay, so let's get into today's episode. So first things first, here's a question for you. How many hours do you think you're spending every week on marketing tasks, like coming up with ideas for content, writing emails, drafting social media posts, putting together blog outlines? And more importantly, what's that time actually worth to you? What is that time worth in terms of client sessions or hours? What is that time worth in terms of rest and relaxation and time away from your business? Now, there's a reason that I'm asking these questions, because I think one of the biggest costs of not using AI in your marketing is that you end up spending your most valuable resource, your time, on tasks that you don't need to be doing manually on your own every single week. Now, if you've worked in the NHS, you were probably used to working in quite a specific structure. Our days were usually decided for us. Patients were booked in at certain time slots, and you showed up, you assessed, you advised, you delivered care, and then you moved on to the next person. And your income wasn't directly tied to how you used your time. But running your own business, on the other hand, is completely different. So now, as I said, your time is actually your most valuable asset. The time you spend on certain tasks in your business has a direct knock on effect on your income, on your energy, on your capacity. And that means we need to find the smartest way possible to do these repetitive and frustrating or energy zapping activities so that we can spend most of our time on seeing clients or focusing on the high impact work. And for a lot of people, the most energy sapping and time consuming task is usually content creation and marketing. And if you want a business that's sustainable and profitable and doesn't rely on you constantly being on, you'll need to have to think about how you can start doing these tasks more quickly and more effectively. And so it's time to start treating your time like the most valuable asset that you have. So I want you to start by having an honest conversation with yourself and asking yourself, where am I bleeding time in my business? Now, another really important question to ask yourself is, what happens when life gets in the way? What happens if you fall off track and your marketing becomes inconsistent? Because the next really huge cost of not using AI in your marketing is that you're only showing up and being visible when you've got the energy to do it. And that is when consistency slips, when potential clients are no longer being reminded of why they need to work with you. Now, if you're only one person and you don't have a big team behind you in your business, you're probably juggling an awful lot of tasks solo. So when something has to give, it's usually the marketing that goes first. But the problem is the impact of inconsistent marketing is delayed. You might not feel it immediately, but soon enough, if your marketing drops, for example, you stop posting on social media, the algorithm starts recognizing this and it stops favoring you. And that means your content gets shown to fewer and fewer people, your reach will then shrink, and it'll actually become harder for potential new clients to find you, even if you do start posting again. So marketing isn't just about what you post today, it's about staying visible long enough for trust to build. And this is actually really, really important in healthcare, probably far more than other industries, because people don't usually book with you straight away. They're watching your content, they're listening to your advice, and they're building trust with you over time. And because that trust takes longer to form, consistency with your marketing really, truly matters. Every post on social media is another touch point. Every blog that you put out there is a touch point. Every video you record, every podcast, every time you're a guest expert with someone, these are all touch points. Every newsletter you send. Then other reminders that you're here, that you're credible, and that you truly understand the people who are following you. So when your content becomes patchy, you're not just missing posts, you're missing opportunities for trust to form, and you're creating gaps in the relationship that you're trying to build with new potential clients. And again, this is where I think AI comes in super handy, because when you've got an AI tool that understands your business and understands your niche and your ideal customer and your voice and your boundaries and your ethics and your values, it allows you to stay visible without draining your energy, because it gives you ways to show up consistently, even on the days or the weeks where client work takes higher priority, which of course it should. Now, that brings me to the third hidden cost of not using AI in your marketing, and that's falling behind your competitors. I want to encourage you to think about your competitors or other people in your niche. Have you noticed how often the same names keep popping up in your space? So chances are there's probably a few people who are always showing up on your Instagram or on your LinkedIn, or even if you type something into Google. You might think to yourself, oh my goodness, they're everywhere. How are they posting as often as this? Where do they find the time to do all of this? How do they come up with so many good ideas? The thing is, what you're seeing isn't someone who's more creative than you or someone that has an extra 20 hours a week to write their content. What you're seeing is the result of the right systems, the right support, and the right tools. Chances are those practitioners that you're comparing yourself to on social media that are killing it with their content aren't sitting down for hours every week to think of and then write new content. They found ways to get support behind the scenes, including AI, used thoughtfully, used intentionally, and trained properly. So if you're doing everything manually, it can start to feel like everyone else is everywhere while you're barely keeping up. We need to recognize that the landscape here is changing. AI is here and it's here to stay. It's already part of how so many businesses operate, including health businesses like yours, like mine. Now, if you've been hesitant about AI or you feel like the outputs that you've been getting so far just aren't that useful, I want to share something that will completely reframe how you think about using it. Now, the real risk isn't using AI as a health professional. The real risk is using AI as a health professional without training the tool on your business and guiding it on how to stay within your standards, your scope of practice, and your professional guidelines. Because what I find is most people try AI, but they don't like the output. They decide the tool is the problem. They're using these tools in such a basic general way, just throwing random prompts at it, even prompts that they may have bought from some guru or expert somewhere, and they don't work. They're hoping for the best. They often get generic or incorrect responses. But the challenge isn't whether AI is ethical or safe or accurate. It's whether you're willing to put in the work to train it properly to make it ethical and safe and accurate. Because when people say AI isn't ethical or AI isn't safe, what they're often describing is an untrained AI. And the difference comes from intentional training. So that means setting really clear parameters, feeding it the right content and guiding it to reflect your unique voice and your expertise. And when you teach the AI to understand your business, your niche, your audience, and the rules and the boundaries that you operate by, your AI will start working for you in a whole new and incredibly more effective way. So the question to be asking yourself is, how can I leverage AI in a way that works within my professional guidelines and supports and protects my values, my expertise, and my integrity? Now, I know what you might be thinking. Training AI on my business sounds like so much extra work. I barely have time for the stuff that I'm already doing. But this isn't about adding more to your plate, honestly, not at all. It's actually about making the work that you're already doing work 10 times harder and smarter for you. You're not starting from scratch when you train your AI. You're using the resources and the content that you've already got. Chances are you've probably got a gold mine of material sitting in your business, like previous social media content, like emails, and even materials you've created for clients. And all of that can be used to train up your AI. That content is full of your expertise, your voice, the way you connect with your audience. And when you feed that into AI and you train it properly, it starts to understand how you communicate, what's important for your industry, and crucially, how to stay within your defined boundaries. So getting these tools to work for you is also about asking the right questions and giving it clear instructions so that it understands the context, it understands the background and the nuances of your unique business. And when you do that, AI can go so much deeper and be so much more accurate with the responses that it gives you. I've spent a lot of time over the last 18 months or so experimenting with tools like ChatGPT and Claude and Gemini, Notebook LM, Copilot. There's loads more. Testing different ways to prompt it, guide it, give it the right instructions. And through a lot of trial and error, I've discovered what works best to leverage AI effectively as a registered healthcare professional. I've trained it so thoroughly using my content and context and also industry knowledge that it's essentially become my very own custom AI marketing assistant. It knows how I communicate, it knows what my audience needs to hear, and it knows the boundaries that I operate within. So it can generate content ideas, it can generate drafts for social content, it can generate emails, it can generate scripts for reels, it can generate outlines for my podcast episodes and blog posts. And this doesn't just make it faster to create, but it actually produces meaningful, accurate, and content that's aligned with my business and my personal values. So what used to take me, 10 plus hours per week producing these posts and emails and things, I can now do in probably about 20 minutes with this tool. And the best part, I very rarely need to edit anything that it produces because it understands my business inside and out. And now, after seeing the amazing results this tool has given me for my business, I want to show you how you can create your own custom AI marketing tool as well. So you can always be in front of your audience. You can consistently be reminding them of why they need your expertise, all without spending hours trying to think of what to post, of what to send to your email list, and writing social media posts from scratch. So on March the 4th, I'm going to be doing a half-day training all around how to use AI more effectively in your healthcare business. So by the end of this workshop, you'll have your very own AI marketing assistant up and running, unique to you, unique to your business. You'll be able to use it straight away by the end of the session, and it will write your social media posts. It will put together your emails. It'll even do sales page copy, respond to DMs for you. Basically, everything and anything that your business needs words for. Your AI marketing assistant will think like you, sound like you, and it'll help you to create client-attracting content that is nothing like your generic ChatGPT is currently producing. So, are you joining us? Make sure you save your spot to grab the early bird price. Prices go up on the 2nd of March, and the link to the workshop is going to be in the show notes of this podcast episode. So if you've got any questions at all, you're more than welcome to message me over on my socials. My Instagram handle is also linked in the show notes, so you know where to find me. Bye for now. That's it for another week. Thank you so much for joining me as we explore the abundance of strategies to help you recapture that feeling of possibility and excitement as you drive your business forwards and beyond the clinic room. If you found today's episode inspirational, then don't forget to like and subscribe to the show to stay in the loop for more valuable advice that I'm going to be sharing each week. If you want to be the first to hear about new episode releases, news and ways that I can support your business growth, then please don't forget to check out the links in the show notes, and you can also connect with me from there. Don't keep me a secret. I would be delighted if you left a review and shared this podcast with your colleagues. Until next time, bye for now.